Hi and hello. Welcome to the Exposure Show brought to you by Sound for Life Online TV. My name is Wanjira Maina and I'm your host for the show. Here on the Exposure Show, we bring you people who have the agenda to change the narrative of the community through their work. With me today in studio is a young man coming from Kakuma with an agenda to change the narrative here. Welcome Almarat to our studio. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Yeah, so probably to ask you the first question, I'll give you the opportunity to introduce yourself, where you come from and what you do.
My name is Almarat, Arnu. Yes, I'm originally from Sudan and I stay in Kakuma, specifically Kakuma 2. So I am co-founder of a community-based organization called Inver. I work as an operations manager. At the same time, I also have my other part-time job. I work as a nominator for Oxford University in a study they're doing in Kakuma. And I think at the same time, I'm a student. I'm studying at Africa Leadership University. I'm doing software engineering actually.
Amazing. Thank you for the introduction. Now jumping into what you do with the community, talk about the organization, tell us the name again, and what you do, what kind of interventions that you support the community with.
So actually, yeah, Inver is an abbreviation, but the full name is Initiative for Nurturing Vulnerable and Empowerment for Resilience. So actually, most of our programs are educational programs. Actually, we view education as a tool to empower youth so that they can gain access to opportunities and have what you call good economical development. So we have several programs, but mostly arranging in education. Currently, the ones ongoing, we have an arts program that's actually for young children to improve their drawing skills. We of course know our arts is very good because we have many people who are having good careers just from drawing. And as well, currently we have a program on English and mathematics. So we believe actually, these two subjects, when someone has a good foundation of this from the lower primary school, I think they're able to do well from the other levels. And yeah, and we also had a program on sexual reproductive health education. This was mostly meant to actually reduce the number of dropouts, especially females, because of early childhood, early marriages, drug abuse, peer pressure. And I think currently we also developing program on a computer program. We want to give actually young people what you call skills that are looked for outside, like which does not require a degree actually. Let me say for software degrees, for example, like web development. Yeah, and then we also working on a partnership with Amala to provide leadership courses to young people in Kakuma. So I think that's what we do.
Amazing. So when you talk about the areas that you work from, maybe it will be important for you to mention and inform the audience where they can find you. Do you go to the schools or do you have a specific location where you implement these activities?
No, we do have our own location. We are located in Kakuma 3, Zone 1, Block 12. I think they call it Kakuma 3 Field. So that's why we're located. We have our centers there. Yeah, people have come to the center to access our program.
Thank you for that. And in terms of your organization, because I have had many people seated on that chair, and when they introduce themselves, I also feel it's good to talk about how many members are part of your organization, what is the representation, because you find most of the initiatives, sorry to say, it's the men who are the founders. Yeah, so in terms of gender representation, how is it with your initiative? And also in terms of the activities that you're implementing in the different areas, that is in Kakuma 3, are there specific activities that attract a certain gender, and what are the gaps? Because I have also had people who say for this activity, and especially with computer coding, all those things, programming, you find that maybe a certain gender will shy away, and you are an expert. You know the context. You know about the different gaps that are there. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think I think we were around 14 members, but of course, voluntary work people keep dropping. Roughly around 10 to 12, and well, I think just as we've said, I think we also have issues with female. I think we have around 4 of them. And I think one reason I think this is a voluntary work. The best thing you can say, you just talk to someone and if they are willing to join you in your journey. and I don't know if women are scarce or I don't know. Sorry for saying this.
Yeah, we shy away.
They want people to pull them. That's how they say, but that's how I define them. We also struggling with that, but also even in our programs, men are more than female, of course. But we do have, for example, in the drawing and arithmetic, we do have quite good number of female, but it's a challenge. I think we are struggling with it, and I think seeing a certain course attracts certain gender. Well, honestly, we haven't done that comparison, but across almost all programs, maybe we do have few female. Only the sexual reproductive, where, but of course, session is only for female, for example. So all of them are there.
That is very true. And when it comes to responsibility, you know, if we women do not take up and own up the opportunities that are out there for us, probably we won't have people to push us so that we go towards the opportunities. Yeah, so you've talked about scholarship, and I know you got a scholarship, and I know there are so many young people who usually reach out because they are interested in getting or having access to a scholarship. Because like you said, in terms of the number that translates going to tertiary and university colleges, the number is very low compared to the number that sits for the Form 4 who usually go to secondary level. Yeah, so probably you can share a little bit about your experience. How did you get to know about the scholarship? What did you do to make your application stand out? Because of course you're not the only person who applied. Yeah, and what is your message to youth in regards to scholarships?
Well, I think let me say I graduated from high school in 2014. That was quite long. It took me, I think, 3 years, because I started with I did a diploma first of all for 2 years. So it took me, of course, 3 years to get the diploma scholarship. But by then, that was the only scholarship. I mean, because I think we were fixed in the opportunities available in Kakuma. I remember by then we only had that scholarship, which of course is the main sponsor, and of course this one for us if you're eligible. So many people were confined in that context. Like that was the only scholarship, and maybe at the I remember by then it took around 50 to 70 hours, and you have more than I think 2,000 graduating every year. So it took me 3 years to get the scholarship, but after completing, of course, I needed to do a bachelor's degree. But now, when I went with the same scholarship, they said, you know, you benefited, and then we can't take you twice. You definitely need to take someone else. So I was like, okay. I went to search for opportunities, because I knew opportunities in the camp. The only opportunities in the camp I had benefited, and they said I was not going to be awarded again. So when I went online, of course, you get scholarship outside Africa and then Africa. Then I wanted to focus on Africa because it's a bit simpler. And again, down in Africa, I was like, if you want to get scholarship, there's this university called Africa Leadership University. So I went to the link, but then the scholarship was not even open. But they said if you want to apply, you actually subscribe. I mean, when the admissions open, I think we will notify you. So I remember, I think it stayed more than 4 months, because it was early in the, was it early in the year? Yeah. But in the August, then I got notification in my email like the scholarship is now out. Then I started, of course, the application, and yeah, it has a couple of course steps. You have to put your academic documents. There are some why you applying for this, and of course, you know, if you want to benefit from a scholarship outside Africa, within Africa, I mean, basically your main aim will be to improve. I mean, Africa. That's it. So yeah, that's how it went, and luckily enough, I was able to get the opportunity. So what I think I can tell people, you know, if you have the, I mean, is it the, let me see, if you really have the willing to learn, you know, currently opportunities are many. As I said, when I graduated by then, opportunities were very few by then. You could stay more than 3 years, but now even someone can graduate this year and get opportunity this year. But some people, I know people who stayed even more than 5 to 7 years to get scholarship. So it's just the willingness. If you have the willingness, you just be patient. If you don't get opportunity within Kakuma, just think outside the box. I think, yeah, you will get.
I think what you've said is very, very true in terms of, you know, people looking at education like one of the pathway that is going to make people stable and move forward. Because for most youth, they look at the opportunity, you know, getting resettled as the end goal. But once you get resettled, that is only one process. You have to settle in the new country, and settling in the new country, it's about your skills and abilities that you have. And most of the times you find these now are the opportunities that are being offered by different grassroots organizations and also the international organizations in this area. Yeah, so now going to the fifth question that I have for you is, I know there are so many challenges that people face when you run a grassroots organization or a CBU, and you've been doing this for a long time. Maybe you can share with us the two challenges that you have faced so far or you're facing, and how you are trying to cope with the challenges.
Well, I think yeah, there are many challenges, as you've said, because initiative is just like a business. So if you want to run a successful business or venture, I think let me say finance is actually one of the most important components. So actually, how we access, let me say, finance in this refugee setup is very restricted. We don't have access to, let me say, loan. You don't even access to funding because of some restriction. So I think that's one of the main things we've been which has been challenging us. You have a good idea, you need equipment, you need human resource actually to make it going, but you don't have it. So how do you actually manage? First of all, I think many of our members we were blessed to be engaged with these agencies. So we do have a monthly contribution, like we put monthly. This will help actually facilitate few of let me say some stationaries and anything needed. But we also run a couple of online fundraising, sharing what we do, of course, with the people close to us. Maybe let me say those friends who manage to go to abroad, even some of the, let me say, Western people, And okay, we've managed to get some money to even put up some of our center. And then let me pick this one. I think let me say capacity is also an issue. Let me say maybe we have many members. Of course, we can't say we have. Let me say we don't have capacity. Of course, we do have, but let me say we still need more capacity to strengthen what we're doing. So most people get empowered from within the educational institution available. So, but now how we've managed, of course, maybe me as an individual, I do take, of course, we know the power of learning online. You can learn anything today you want for free. For example, Coursera, it's project management. You can just learn without certificate, for example. So I think that's how we've been utilizing. And okay, some of us also want to advance their education, maybe joining a few of the universities around. So I think that's basically how we've been addressing these two challenges.
It's very important what you said, that in terms of capacity, you can be able to look for opportunities and be able to learn. And there are platforms out there like Coursera where people can learn for free. Yeah, so now going to the last question that I have for you. For anyone who is interested in supporting your initiative and probably they would want to see your work on social media, where can they find you and what are your handles?
Well, okay, I think I wrote the names down actually. We active in social media. I think on Facebook, we of course Inver Empowering Refugees, and just type that, it will come. Again on Twitter, I think our handle is Inver Initiative. Yeah, and then we do also have our website. Yeah, it's just inver.africa. I think you can be able to find us on those 3 platforms.
Thank you so much, Almarat, for coming to our studio. Thank you for honoring the invitation. I know it's very hot, 40 degrees centigrade, we are melting, but you have braved through. This was a very insightful conversation, and I look forward to seeing your name, being forwarded in Geneva and sharing your experience with people in Geneva. Thank you for watching through the interview. You've heard from Almarat, a young man from Kakuma too, with the agenda to support community in education project. So from us, the Sound for Life team, it's been fun having you. Thank you for watching through the interview, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Until then, it's Kwaheri for now. Bye-bye.